Hi, Pharmacist Roman here, and this is day number 2, which quite surprised me how quickly my time went, but it does go quickly. So I'm going to again set my timer for 5 minutes so I can keep my time down because, yeah, I seem to talk quite a bit about my food. Guess kind of like eating. Okay, so day number 2 for breakfast, I had the same foods except I substituted oatmeal for oat groats. My blood sugar remained constant. Lunch was the same. However, if you look at the graph, you'll see a peak at 11 millimoles per liter, a little too high. Not sure what happened there. Supper was very similar to day number 1, beans and rice with cauliflower, nasturtiums, and a squash. However, at 10 to 12 o'clock, you'll notice my blood sugar was too low, those little red squares. Thus, my sleep was suffered again. Now, I did something that people on an SOS-free diet would consider bad. The SOS-free diet eliminates sugar, oil, and salt. So at 10:30, I had 1 teaspoon of olive oil and was able to get back asleep afterwards, which is great because the handful of nuts I had the night before, it was really tough to get back to sleep. So that evening, you see my blood sugar again drop 3 more times. And I would wake up, I would stare at the monitor, at the telephone, or at the cell phone, I should say. And yeah, my blood sugar went back up. So I was, okay, well, I guess this happens. Now for breakfast, I had 2 cups of oat groats, a quarter cup of black beans, a quarter cup of soybeans, a 16th teaspoon of salt. I had a half a cup of pineapple and berries. I had 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of flax. I started exploring what if the order of my eating would affect my blood sugar. So I eat the blueberries first, and the fruit, and then the grain bowl. I did notice a significant difference. So much for that experiment. My supplements were fish oil, 2 vitamin Ds, and iodine 325 microgram. For lunch, I had 2 cups of quinoa, a half a cup of pinto beans, vegetables, and a tablespoon of sauerkraut. Then I had my 3 tablespoons of mixed nuts, my potato, and my apple. Blood sugar peak was lower than day 1, but still in the healthy range. At 4 o'clock, I was shocked to find out my blood sugar dropped to 3.8. So I had 2 handfuls of nuts. I guess my walk burned off more energy than I expected. I had an appetizer that evening, half a can of Partake, it's a de-alcoholized beer, 1 cracker with hummus, 1 cracker with caponata spread, and 3 olives. Supper was rice, tofu, cauliflower, squash with a tomato. I had seconds. I also ate 1.5 pieces of chocolate and half an apple for dessert. Then, 30 minutes later, I had another low blood sugar reading. I'm not sure why that happened. At 11 p.m., I had another low. And then 4 more lows that night. Interesting, when I woke up at 6:45, I did see my blood sugar naturally rise. This corresponds to the cortisol burst in the morning. This is natural because of the circadian or body rhythm. Cortisol is what wakes us up in the morning, so it's kind of neat. For breakfast, I had 1 cup of oats, a quarter cup of soybeans, a quarter cup of another bean, and kale. I put a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and ground flax, and a 16th teaspoon of salt. I tried a piece of homemade bread with peanut butter. The flour inside the bread contained the bran, germ, and endosperm, so it's not like the flour you buy in the grocery store. I had half a cup of mixed berries and a clementine. My supplements were 2 vitamin D, a fish oil supplement. Again, my blood sugar was fine. For lunch, I ate my grain ball first, then my apple, then my potato, then my nuts. Blood sugar was again fine. Before supper, my blood sugar was low, so I ate 2 prunes, which worked to bring up my blood sugar. For supper, I had baked beans and rice. I also had 1.5 rotis as well, 2 pistachios, cauliflower, Swiss chard, and corn. What I did with the corn was to pour a great deal of olive oil on it. My hope was to avoid low blood sugar at night. I know that oil has, quote, empty calories. I was getting more worried. I had a handful of nuts before bedtime to prevent lows. This would decrease my amount of time for intermittent fasting. I'm not sure what is worse, low blood sugar or decreased intermittent fasting. Maybe a dietitian would know. And the food strategy didn't work, low at 10 p.m. So let's go on to, come, cooperate. Okay. Oh, hey, pot. So look, I continued, had lows all night. I tried a handful of popcorn to correct my blood sugar. It didn't work. At one point during the evening, I waited 10 minutes. After the system said 3.2, my blood sugar did rectify itself. I did have to go up to the bathroom, which is why I woke up in the first place. And guess what? That's been 10 minutes. Oh, not 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So I'll stop there. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.